The year is 1968. Groovy, far out times of starshine and moonshots. The age of Aquarius and black power. Counterculture and campus unrest. At The Ohio State University, there is a generation gap. Coach Woody Hayes begins his 18th season at OSU with only a handful of upperclassmen. Spearheading the seniors are offensive tackles Dave Foley and Rufus Mays. Punishingly precise, both blockers will be proclaimed All-America by season's end. But the bulk of Woody's lineup is a roster full of sophomores. Woody will be forced to start at least a dozen, and in an era of freshman ineligibility, that many unseasoned sophomores is usually a recipe for disaster. Fortunately, Woody surrounds the squad with a brilliant coaching staff, including Lou Holtz, Earl Bruce, Lou McCullough, and Bill Mallory. Still, as the season begins, Woody is struggling to get his team into focus. Lacking experience, this young Buckeye team doubles up on desire. So dominant is the defense in this 21-6 victory, Oregon is unable to gain even one first down the entire second half. But hold tight. The acid test of this green defense looms dead ahead. In 1967, Purdue had humiliated Ohio State 41-6. In 1968, Purdue is the nation's #1 team. Quarterback Mike Phipps fronts a murderously sophisticated passing attack. Phipps' favorite receiver, halfback Leroy Keys, boldly boasts, "No one can cover me one-on-one." Sophomore defensive back Jack Tatum takes that as a personal challenge. The odds makers, however, don't give Tatum or the Buckeyes much of a chance. Before a record-setting crowd, Ohio State takes the field, a 13-point underdog. Right from the opening kickoff, this game packs a wallop. Ohio State pounds downfield. Brockington streaks to the Purdue 16. But a holding call moves the ball back to the 31. Jan White makes the catch and kicks loose to the 11. But a clip costs 15 more yards. Sophomore mistakes are sinking OSU. Kern scrambles inside the 10. But a chip shot shanks right. Purdue's first offensive play is ominous. Phipps finds Keys for 13 yards. Dave Whitfield brings the Boilermakers back to earth. After Purdue punts, the Buckeyes battle back. But once more, OSU comes up too long and too short.
Right, Zelina is in the slot. The ball given to Otis, and Otis plunges for about 3 to about the 22. Forward motion stop where Bill Yanchar and Ron Marie, the two tackles, converge to make the tackle. Kowski wide. And Kern looking to throw, fakes, and now is going to run. He fakes again, goes outside at the 25 and is knocked out of bounds on about the 29-yard line. So what looked like a big loss on the play, and Woody is yelling that they decked him out of bounds. Woody is yelling, why didn't they throw the flag for the roughness there? And he really is upset. He's telling off the officials because after Kern was out of bounds, there were 2 late shots at him.
At
There
Woody's
were 2
feet.
late shots as it happened right in front of the Buckeye bench. And Woody did Buckeyes line up slot left this time. As Kern goes back to throw, he fakes. He's being rushed. He throws to Otis at the 30. Otis goes down on the 37. First down, Ohio. At the 37. 2:08 remaining in the half. Chuck Kyle making the stop. And here comes Kuhn in the ball game as Rex Kern disregards slot left. Jankowski out wide. Kern going back to throw. Has time. Throws again down the middle. And this time it's caught by Otis at the 45. And he moves it to the 49-yard line. Only that one was Zelina, not Otis. Larry Zelina came out of the backfield from his slot position. Purdue in a 7-diamond defense now as Kern goes back to throw again. He's being rushed. He throws it long, intending it for Brungard, but it's out of bounds. Brungard was being followed by Don Webster all the way, and actually Kern didn't have a receiver to throw to, and he just threw it out of bounds. Brungard, and the only tailback is Zelina as he goes back to throw, and now he's looking to run, and he's decked from behind by Wergowski, who hit him from behind, the blind side, back on the 45-yard line for a loss on the play. Brungard is in the slot. Kern going back to throw. He's being rushed. He throws complete to Brungard, and a flag goes down for interference. A flag for interference, I believe, at the Purdue 47, which could give the Buckeyes an automatic first down. And it is first down, Ohio, at the Purdue 47. Is back, or Otis is back. They're rushing Kern now, and he decides to throw the ball. Do they rule it incomplete? He intended it for White, but he threw it at the shoe tops, and White was covered by O'Reilly like a blanket. So it's a second down play, and that one didn't take very much time on the clock. 1 minute and 1 second. The ball on the Purdue 47. As the Buckeyes taking to the air, here Kern goes to the bench. Woody with the phones, getting some information from Bill Hindman, who's up in the press box. And Otis is the single man in the backfield. Kern going back to throw. He has room. Now he decides to run with the ball. Going outside. And he gets to the Purdue 40-yard line inside the 40. And again, Woody wants to make sure that they're not jumping on him outside there. And there seems to be some heated exchanges of words now. Face mask is being called. I believe a flag went down, and a face mask is being called on Purdue. A face mask is called on UNASCA. Kern going back to throw. He has time. He throws complete to Kuhn inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play, and O'Reilly makes the tackle. And I believe Ohio called for time to stop the clock. Did they? Slot. White wide the other way as Kern goes back to throw. And he throws it out of bounds. It was intended for White, but he had to throw it out of bounds because once again O'Reilly was on White like a blanket. So it goes as an incompleted pass, and it's 3rd and 4 with 42 seconds remaining. And now Dick Kuhn comes in. Man in the backfield is Kern. Gives to Otis on the draw. Otis at the 15 and inside the 15. He got the first down, I believe, and he calls for time. The draw play, we just whispered to Johnny Metzger, it'd be a good call. Kyle made the tackle. 1st and 10, Ohio, and timeout has been called by Ohio to stop the clock with 36 seconds. All right, Kern calling the signals. Getting some pass protection. Now he throws deep for Brungard, and it's knocked down in a last-minute save, but it's intercepted out of bounds by Don Webster. So it goes as an incompleted pass. He was intending it for Brungard. Kuhn wide to the right. Jankowski to the left. Kern throwing a quick down and out to Jankowski. Jankowski pulled out of bounds on the 7-yard line. A pickup of 7 yards on the play. and he almost got the first down. At field, Jankowski very wide. As Kern again goes back to throw, and the ball is batted into the air, no good. One of the big tackles got in, along with Kyle. Ron Marie got his fingers on the ball and knocked it down. And here comes Merriman in for an attempted field goal. 22 seconds remaining. Purdue, a 25-yard attempt. Waiting for the pass from center. The ball is towed down. The kick is up, and it's blocked by McCoy, who's been the toughest defender of the afternoon for Purdue. And so, with 18 seconds remaining of this scoreless ball game, the Buckeye defensive unit goes out to the field in a tremendous first half of action, featuring some fine offense, but even greater.
As the game moves through the second period, it's obvious Leroy Keys has met his match. Every move he makes, Keys can feel Jack Tatum literally breathing down his neck. After Purdue misses a pair of field goals, the Buckeyes begin their longest drive of the day. Mixing the run and the pass, they move 81 yards to the Purdue 7. With seconds remaining in the half, OSU is perfectly positioned for the game's first score. But weak place kicking will be the Achilles heel of this team all season. After 30 hard-hitting minutes, this game is still up in the air.
The deep man, Randy Cooper and Kirkpatrick. Here's the boot, and it's a high end-over-end kick coming down at Kirkpatrick on the 10. He fumbles the ball, but regains it, and immediately is down on his own 18-yard line, where Purdue will go to the offense. 1st and 10. Now we'll see what adjustments the Purdue Boilermaker offense, the Buckeyes in the same defensive alignment, as Phipps goes back to throw. He's looking to throw to Keys, and Keys evades one man, evades another one, and is finally brought down on the 27-yard line, where it is very close to the first down. He got about 9 on that diagonal pass as he came back. Sensabaugh finally making the tackle. It's a gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Side of the center. And it's the draw play to Kirkpatrick, and Kirkpatrick is held for short yardage, but it's a first down at the 30 and possibly the 31-yard line. As Jim Stillwagon and Phipps again going back to pass, looking to throw. And it is knocked down by Tatum and almost intercepted, as Tatum was on Keys man for man. And he almost got his hands on it for a second time. Off the I formation. Again, Phipps going back to throw. He has time. He throws. It's intercepted by Provost, and he's going in for touchdown. Touchdown, Ohio. Provost scores. And they mobbed Provost down there. Provost intercepted the pass on about the 30-yard line, or 32, and went in for the touchdown unmolested. And the whole Buckeye bench erupts. 6-0 Ohio. Teddy Provost from Navarre, Ohio, 6'3", 182, a junior, puts the Buckeyes on top, 6-0. A 35-yard interception, touchdown run. And this crowd, which may be the biggest in Ohio Stadium history, is reacting. Waiting for the snap. The ball is towed down. The kick is up. And it is no good. Wide to the right. And that could be an important miss. Ohio 6, Purdue nothing. Timeout on the field. Time in for a word from you. 6-0. Opperman kicking off. And it's an onside kick that is recovered by Purdue on their own 49, and they almost got to it. An attempted onside kick, and the Buckeyes are pulling out the stops this afternoon. Gary Roppett. Keys wide to the right. Dillingham in the right slot as Phipps again goes back to throw. He has time. Now they're rushing him, and he's going long for Keys. And it is busted up by Sensabaugh. Busted up, and Keys is looking for an official to call an interference, but Sensabaugh knocked it out of his hands. And it goes as a long, incompleted pass, and they went for broke on that one. To the left. as Phipps again goes back to throw. He gets lots of time. Now he's going to run, and he's being chased by one of the tackles again, and he evades him. The 50, the 45, the 40, and knocked out of bounds inside the 40, and there are flags going down. Flags going down, and they're going to call roughness on Ohio. Face mask on Ohio on the play. Or is it face mask against Purdue? At the 36-yard line. And evidently, Phipps again going back to throw, and they've got a rush on him. It's a screen. It's to Williams. Williams at the 45 of Ohio, the 40 of Ohio, and down he goes at the 40, and it's a first down. Purdue, I believe. Tim Anderson making the tackle. And they set up the screen beautifully by letting the Buckeye defensive unit come, and again, Phipps goes back to throw. This time he's being rushed, and he evades Whitfield. And now Tatum is after him, and Tatum gets him. Tatum at the 48-yard line. And this time it was not against the tackle that he was racing, but he was racing against a man who can do the 100 in under 10 flat, Jack Tatum. And there's a pass that is knocked down by Provost, intended for Dillingham. Provost just timed it right and knocked that one down in midair as Dillingham in the left slot. Phipps going back to throw again. They're rushing him now, and they get him back on the Purdue 39-yard line. Dave Whitfield, Paul Schmidlin, both barreled in there and got him. And the Buckeye defensive unit has been something to see today. 4th down and 31 yards to go for the Boilermakers back on their own 39. And the Ohio kick, Zelina, the deep man, along with Pulaski. Here's the boot, and he gets a good kick. And a fair catch is called for and fumbled. And Ohio State falls on it back on the 23, I believe it is. Purdue falls on it. No, now it's Ohio State. One of the officials went in there late, and he called it Purdue, but the referee called it Ohio. And it is Ohio ball, and that official almost caused 84,000 heart attacks. Zelina recovered at the 23-yard line. Zelina is in the slot. Run guard in motion. The ball given to Otis. Otis comes up past the 25 to about the 26-yard line. A gain of 3, a short yardage play as he slanted over his own right guard. McCoy making the tackle. Here comes Kuhn into the ball game at end, replacing Jan White for Ohio with Jankowski wide off the eye. Kern gives to Otis, and Otis explodes up the middle and gets across the 30 for almost 5 yards. We'll call it a 4.5-yard gain, and it'll be a 3rd and 3. Tripped up by Chuck Kyle. Slot. Run guard in motion. Kern giving to Otis. Otis has running room. He's at the 40. He's at the 45, and he's down on a trip up on the 48-yard line by Mike Ray, the safety man. But Otis on a quick opener exploded to the left, cut back further to his left, and picked Jankowski wide. Balanced line against the 6-2. And this time it is Brungard crossing the 50, getting to the Purdue 49 or 48-yard line. Bob Unaska making the stop. And evidently Brockington was injured too seriously for him to see any further action. He's been held out of play. On the 12-yard line, clipping against Ohio on the 12. Nullifying a great run by Slot. In motion is Brungard. Again, it is Otis, and there's a flag on the play. Otis gets to about the 22, and backfield in motion, charged against Ohio. Illegal motion nullifies the big gain, which was actually a first down. To the right, Zelina in the slot. And this time it's Brungard, and Brungard cannot go. Held for no gain at the line of scrimmage, and it's a 2nd and 9 for Ohio. He got possibly a foot on the play as the interior linebacker, Paraskevas, wedged in along with the defensive end on that side. Dennis Wergowski. We have what might be called a passing situation, and Kern goes back to throw. They're going to rush him, and he gets out of one hole and bumps into his own man and loses back to about the 36-yard line. Ron Marie put the blitz on, along with Dennis Wergowski. With Zelina in the slot. Kern going back to throw. He has time. He hits Otis, but Otis has a man there with him, and he only gains a yard. Chuck Kyle stayed home and all he gained was a yard. It's a completed pass, but he's caught as he received it at the 30 back. And there's a flag on the play. And I believe the Buckeyes took too much time in order to take the penalty, so they give Sensabaugh more room to kick the ball dead inside the 5-yard line. We actually think that delay of the game penalty was something that the Buckeyes might have looked for, because now we'll see what Sensabaugh does with it. Here's his punt, and he gets it straight up in the air, almost blocked, and a fair catch is called for on the 19-yard line by Foley. So Purdue goes to the offense. They trail 6-0. As the Buckeyes' penalties have cost them so severely this afternoon. A touchdown recall for the running back. Phipps goes back to throw. Looking. He throws long for Kirkpatrick, and he overthrows him. And Kirkpatrick came off the slot, and he was free right down the middle. The Buckeyes almost went offside on the play, but they got back. Kirkpatrick is wide. Dillingham in the left slot. I formation. And the draw play, and they're there to meet and greet Mr. Kirkpatrick for a loss back on the 16-yard line. The two ends, the two linebackers, along with the middle guard, are all there this time. Now he's in motion, and the Buckeyes go offside. Keys went in motion, but they're going to call it against Purdue. They're going to call it against the center, Frame, for straightening up from his center position. Frame came up. Here's Kirkpatrick, and they've spread him out all over the field as Phipps goes back to throw. He throws then, and it's intercepted by Ohio. Stillwagon intercepts, I believe. Is it Stillwagon? Or who? It is Jim Stillwagon. Ohio State ball on the Purdue 25-yard line. Jim Stillwagon of Mount Vernon, Ohio, the sophomore middle guard, leaped up in front. A big interception of the afternoon. Zelina in the right slot. Jankowski wide. The ball goes to Otis, and Otis has some running room and crashes down to about the 16-yard line. A gain on the play of almost 10 yards. O'Reilly tripping him up. Kern gives to Otis, and Otis moves it all the way down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal to go for Ohio. Inside the 10. And the Buckeyes are on the rampage again, due to the work of a tremendous defensive unit. To go from inside the 10. Kern gives to Otis, and he cannot go. He gets a yard, possibly to the 8-yard line, and that's as far as he can go, as the whole right side of the Purdue line was there to stack him up. And so the Buckeyes, no spreads, no splits. And it is Kern sweeping wide to his right. His blocking is coming up, but he can't do it. They catch him from behind. His blocking was too slow. Very slow, and the official got in the way. One of the officials got in the way of the blockers then, Joe. And Kern is a little slow getting up as he was double-teamed by Foley and McCoy.
And there are a couple of big guys coming in there on Rex, and Rex was obviously shaken up. Coming back into the ball game now for Ohio State is Jim Otis.
Billy Long coming in.
Coming in is Billy Long. Kern will be spelled and is being worked on by the trainers down on the sideline at the 15-yard line. So the ball is at the...
A tight tee. Billy Long, the quarterback. Billy Long going back to throw. He's looking now. Now he decides to run. He's at the 10, the 5, the 4. He's in. He scores. Billy Long scores for Ohio. The non-running quarterback from Dayton, Ohio, saw his opportunity to come up the middle, and he took it in for the score. A 14-yard touchdown run by Billy. And it's Ohio 12, Purdue nothing, and they're going to go for 2 or 1. No, I guess they're going to go for the 1. Long will hold, and Merriman. Roman kicking. Roman's kick is up, and it's good. 13-0, Ohio over Purdue, and the Buckeyes lead with 3 minutes and 55 seconds in the third period. Timeout on the field. Here's a timely message for you. And we'll be kicking off for Ohio. Cooper and Kirkpatrick are the deep men. Kirkpatrick at the 5. Here's the kick, a left-footed kick coming down short to Williams. Williams at the 18, to the 20. Williams going outside. being chased. Williams at the 20. Williams is knocked out of bounds at about the 23 as he tried to go outside. They finally got him. 3 men on him. And it was Vince Suber who made the tackle. One of the second-string linebackers on the suicide squad. Phipps under center. And Phipps goes back to throw, looking, and now he's going to come up the middle again, and he stumbles and falls at the line of scrimmage. Tripped up by Paul Schmidlin, just got a finger on him. Just a finger. But it goes for a loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. Spread out wide. Again, Phipps going back to throw. He throws, hitting Dillingham, and Provost is on him and hits him at the line of scrimmage for no gain. As Ted Provost comes off the tackle, limping a little bit, and he's going to be replaced by Pulaski. Phipps again going back to throw. He has time. He throws down the middle, hitting Dillingham, and Dillingham is hit at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for Purdue. At actually the 43, 1st and 10 for the Boilermakers. Let's pause 10 seconds for to the right. 1st and 10, Purdue from their own 43. Phipps again going back to throw. He's being rushed now, and they get him back there. Fumble! We'll see who has the football. Fumble and a big pileup, and it looks like it's Purdue's ball, but a big loss on the play back to their own 33-yard line. As Whitehead, I believe, in motion as Bullock, as Phipps goes back to throw, and they're going to get him again. They grab him, and he just throws the ball away, and they're not going to, they call it down. They whistled it dead at the 12-yard line, I believe. We'll see what they call it. There's a big fuss going on down there as Urbanek was in a fuss with one of the Purdue players. Are they going to rule it an incomplete pass or what? What's the call? I think they're going to rule it an incompleted pass or a penalty against Ohio. I don't know which. There's all kinds of discussion going on down there. We've had no ruling from the 3rd and 20. And it looks like Purdue was offside, but they're going to deck him back there on the 23-yard line. They get to him. Who was it, Whitfield? No, Tatum. Tatum got him back on the 22 or 23. And we'll see if this was a flag against Purdue, and if so, the Buckeyes will refuse the penalty, which they do. Back. He'll punt from about his own 10. He gets a good pass from center, and the kick is not too long. It's high. Fair catch called for by Pulaski on the Buckeye 46, and they have good field position again. Ohio ball in their own 46. They lead 13-0, and the Bucks go to the offense. Actually, they put it down on the wide to the right. Zelina in the right slot. The ball goes to Otis, and Otis gets in. Fumble. Whose ball? Purdue ball at the 48-yard line. Don Webster recovering as Otis was hit hard and fumbled the ball. So after another tremendous effort by the defense, after one play, they're back out there to do it all over again. Phipps going back to throw. He has time. He throws down the middle, and it's knocked down, almost intercepted by Doug Adams, who had dropped off. Doug Adams, one of the linebackers, had dropped off. 2nd and 10. The ball given to Williams, and Williams is dropped for practically no gain at the 46-yard line. 34 seconds, 32 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Schmidlin hook tackled him. Phipps going back to throw, looking, and they're going to go after him again. Here comes Schmidlin. He does throw it, and he throws it away completely. Nobody anywhere near the football, but he got rid of it. Cooper was 15 yards away from where the pass was thrown. So again, it looks like it may be a punting situation. However, there is the end of the 3rd quarter. The score at the end of the 3rd period is Ohio 13, Purdue nothing. Now, while the team...
And that day back in 63.
And back to punt. Zelina standing on his own 10-yard line as the lone Buckeye deep defender. Here's the punt. He gets it away, and Zelina calls for a fair catch inside the 10 at the 9-yard line, where Ohio will go to the offense. Actually, Zelina might have been better off had he just let that ball go over his head and possibly go into the end zone, but it was coming right at him. He called for the fair catch, and here comes Rex Kern into the ballgame. And Brungard in the eye. And it is Otis coming in up the right side. getting about 5 to the 15-yard line or 14-yard line. 2nd and 5 on a quick hitter. Chuck Kyle, who has made a number of Kowski wide to the right, balanced line. This time it is Kern keeping, threading a needle, coming up close to the first down, missing it by maybe a yard as McCoy came in from his defensive end position to make the tackle just short of the 20 at about the 19-yard line. It's 3rd and less than a yard. Wide to the right. This time it is Otis, and Otis gets the first down, I believe. First down for Ohio at the 20-yard line. He went over the top, pulled down, but he gets the first down. Slot left again, in motion is Brungard. It is Otis plunging for about 7 to the 27-yard line on that fake in one direction and the handoff in the other. Jim Otis from Salina, Ohio, tackled by O'Reilly.
His own impetus took him to the ground then. He was hit just a second at the
balanced line. Kern giving to Brungard, and Brungard gets it to the 30, where again it is a 3rd down play with less than a yard to go for the first down, and here comes Jim Roman in for John Mulback. Jim Roman for the slot. Zelina in the slot. And it is Otis getting the first down at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 Ohio, and they're grinding it out on the ground. They started inside their 10. They've moved it to the 31. 2 consecutive first downs, and they've eaten up backs in the eye. And it is Otis, short yardage this time, getting to about the 33, a 2-yard game where Ron Marie, the big 270-pound defensive right tackle, making the grab. Jack replaces, and this time it is Otis getting a little more yardage and moving it out. Wait, is there a fumble in there? A fumble, and Purdue recovers. The ball was, he went all the way to the 38-yard line and worked out. And it is Kirkpatrick out wide to the right. The ball given to Keys. Keys is stopped after a gain of about 3, possibly a little more, short of the Ohio 30-yard line by DeBevic. Out wide to the right. Keepert going back to throw. He throws complete to Kirkpatrick at the 23, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 22 by Sensabaugh. But I believe it's enough for the first down. 1st and 10 Purdue at the Ohio. All right, Keys wide to the right. Keepert going back to throw. And it's a screen pass to Williams. Williams at the 20. Williams at the 15. Williams at the 10. Williams at the 8-yard line. And finally, tackled by the safety man, Sensabaugh. No flags. It's a 1st and goal to go from the 8-yard line of Ohio State as they let the Buckeyes come in, and Keepert gave it to Williams on the screen. A tight I formation. The ball goes to Williams, and he gets a yard to the 7, and that's about all. As the right side closed in on him. And I believe Stottlemyre, who's in the ball game, replacing Stillwagon. I formation, in tight. And it is Keepert going back to throw. They're rushing him, and he lobs it over the end zone. The closest man was Sensabaugh. So it's a 3rd and goal from the 7. It was intended for Engelbrecht, and the pressure on Keepert was tremendous then. They almost got to him as the play comes in from the bench with Whitehead replacing Frame at center. Now Steyer comes back into the ball game as a linebacker for Ohio. Is Keys. Kirkpatrick in the slot. Keepert going back to throw. He's being rushed, and he throws it into the track, overthrowing it by 10 yards. So it's a 4th and 7, and the Buckeye defenders have been tremendous. Pulaski was the closest to the ball along with Jack Tatum. Here comes Bill Urbanic back in the ball game, a tackle. Keys to the right, Dillingham to the left. Keepert going back to throw, looking for Keys, and the ball is knocked out of his hands, incomplete. And the Ohio Buckeyes hold on down. And since it was into the end zone, they're going to bring it out to the 20 or not. They should be bringing it out to the 20, but they're setting it down on the 7. I guess they ruled that he wasn't in the end zone, but the Buckeyes hold. Evidently, he was not in the end zone when the ball was not. 9:51 remaining. And the ball is given to Otis, and Otis gets it out to the 18-yard line. A first down for Ohio as he comes up the middle, gets a block, and then on individual effort gets the last 5 yards to the 18. So the Buckeyes get out of their own backyard. Here comes Huff in for Otis.
Fumbles.
And here's Otis again, coming up the middle, crossing the 25 to the 27-yard line. A gain of 9, Huff this time. A gain of, to the 27-yard line, a gain of 9. 2nd and 1. And the Buckeyes get out of their backyard. This time Huff is held for short yardage. He gets it out to about the 29, and that's as far as he can go. They have a 3rd and less than a yard. Chuck Kyle again making the stop. I don't know, a tight T against the 5-4 defense. And it is Kern keeping the ball, going inside, getting 5 to the 35-yard line and over the 35, and mad because it wasn't 25.
And he wanted more, and he almost had daylight to get more, Bert.
Actually, he got 6, Joe. Kern taking his time with a long count. And he gives it to Brungard. Brungard gets it to about the 38-yard line. Again, Chuck Kyle makes the first contact. The middle guard and co-captain playing a tremendous game defensively. Down attempt against a 7-man line. And it is Kern keeping, going outside at the 40, still on his feet at the 45, and down at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Ohio. And Rex Kern does it again. And listen to the way the crowd reacts. John Webster and Mike Ray made the tackle at the 47-yard line. 1st and 2. This time it is Otis, and Otis spins away from one tackler, goes for short yardage to about the 49-yard line, a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 for Ohio from just short of the 49-yard line. Bill McCoy making the tackle. 13-0 Ohio, 6:40. And it is Brungard sweeping, getting one block, getting into Purdue territory at the 49, and again McCoy along with Unaska are there to make the stop at the 49-yard line of Purdue. It's a 3rd and 5. Will the Bucks go to the air? 6 minutes. A balanced tee. Kern keeping the ball, flipping it out, giving it to Brungard, and Brungard is held for a loss on the play back on the Ohio State 48-yard line by John O'Reilly. And that one must have given Woody Hayes a heart attack. In the punt, Foley, the deep man, and they're going to put a rush on him. He hurries the punt. There it is. It's not very good. They rushed that punt. It's going to go out of bounds very poorly on the Purdue 37-yard line, and they had a big rush on. They wanted to get that football. And again, it's up to the defense. 5 minutes and 6 seconds remaining. And it gets down to the defense. He's to the right. The setback is Williams. Keeper going back to throw. And he's caught back there on his own 32-yard line by big Brad Nielsen and Urbanek on the play. A loss on the play. Schmidlin also. It was Schmidlin who made first contact. A loss on the play of about 5. 2nd and 15. It's a 2nd and 15. Keys to the right. Kirk. And it's a draw play to Williams. Williams gets it to the 38-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage plus a yard, and Vic Stottlemyre, the middle guard, stayed home along with Brad Nielsen to converge and make the tackle. Here comes Urbanek back in the ball game. The ball at the keeper under center, going back to throw, and they've got a wide open shot at him, and he throws the ball, had to rush it as DeBevick rushed him, forced him to throw it away, and it's an incompleted pass and a punting situation for Purdue. It was intended for Keys, and Jack Tatum had him covered all the way.
Buckeyes today.
Emch punting for Purdue. There's the boot, and it's a tremendous boot, which Sensabaugh is not going. He is going to field it on the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and down on about the 28-yard line, where the Buckeyes again go to the offense with 3:45 remaining. And we'll see who the Buckeyes will have as their quarterback.
Bert, there was a penalty on that play, and I believe it'll turn out to be clipping against Purdue. The ball, the stop was made at the 28-yard line.
Otis and Brungard are the setbacks. And it is Otis coming up the middle, getting across the 15 to about the 16 or 17-yard line. Looking closer like the 17-yard line as Alec Davis of Hamilton, Ohio, a 265-pound tackle replacement for Ron Marie, makes the tackle. The ball at the slot. Jankowski wide to the left. Brungard in motion. And it is Otis with running room, getting it out across the 20 to the 27, 28-yard line, close to the first down. He may be short by a little bit. We'll see. He missed it by a half a yard, tripped up by John O'Reilly. The ball at the 23-yard line. Kern under center, taking his time, gives to Otis, and he roars up the middle, spins off tackles, 30, 35 to the 36-yard line. First down, Ohio at their own 36. And Otis is some kind of something here this afternoon. O'Reilly and Webster making the tackle. And Woody has gone back to bread and butter football, the kind he loves, the hammer and tongs fullback offense. And Kern giving to Brungard, and Brungard gets the ball to the 39-yard line, where he's immediately brought down by Paraskevas, or Paraskevas, I should say. It's a slot to the left with Jankowski out wide. It is Huff threading his way up the middle, and he gets the ball to the 45-yard line for the Buckeyes, where it'll be a third and about a yard and a half. Paraskevas and Unaska, the linebackers, 3 seconds remaining, in motion. And it is Huff getting the ball to the 47-yard line, where he's short of the first down. McCoy making the tackle. And it'll be a fourth down play. Are they going to punt? 45 seconds remain. It's a slot left. And it's a quarterback sneak, and Kern gets it into Purdue territory. First down, Ohio, with 25 seconds, as he came off one tackler and got an extra 3 yards. The ball on the Purdue 48-yard line, and 24 seconds remaining in the ball game. Ohio leading 13-0, and they're hollering from the bench, "We're number one. We're number one."
Well, it's a cinch. The Buckeyes will be moved up in the ratings. They have turned it in out here today. A tremendous upset.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the ball game is over. Ohio wins it. 13-0. The biggest upset of the season. The Buckeyes win it, defeating the Boilermakers of Purdue, and there's pandemonium going on the field. They're coming out of the stands. They're coming off the bench. They're coming from everywhere to mob the entire Ohio Buckeye team. And this has been a victory that the defensive unit gave to the offense. We cannot say too much for Lou McCullough's Bucks, the defensive unit. And listen...